that wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. I have one question, but before that, I would just like to also contribute concerning the topic of today, the solid ground in leadership. And you really emphasize it, you really emphasize on the trust. Like if I really understood, I think trust is the foundation of a true leadership. Yeah. So like Johnson Maxwell said also concerning leadership, because you also talk about some characters, respect, and so on. Johnson Maxwell said if you say that, if you have to say to people that you are a leader, it means that you are not a leader. So leadership is about influence. So for people to follow you, you must impact their life in a way. Maybe it might be through all those different characters and character that you have just named a few minutes ago concerning the potential, consistencies, and respect also. So I think this topic is, I think I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot on this topic of today. So my question is, can someone be born a leader? Can someone be born a leader? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach Bean. That's a very, very interesting question. It looks simple, but it is really, really interesting. And I think everybody should hear what I have to say about it. Being a leader, like John C. Maxwell pointed out in one of the topics that he handled in the law of leadership, I think that is either the first or the second law. He was talking about what makes a leader. There is nobody that can be born a leader. If anybody can be born a leader, it means that that person is too perfect to be a human being, because leadership is equal to discipline. And discipline is basically telling you that everything that you naturally have, you have to control them to a limit where you can be able to accommodate others. That takes a lot. And this is why nobody can, because nobody is born to restrict themselves, right? Everybody is born to be free to do what you think is right and what you think is wrong. But when you become a leader, you don't just make decision of what is right and what is wrong. Now you even make decision before you even pass the decision as a law. You have to pass it through a number of people to be able to come out and say, okay, it is so. Leadership cannot even be handled by one person. That is another very, very important thing. Unless you're just doing your own leadership in your own bedroom, as long as you're handling people, right? Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to count your money. Somebody has to send your messages. Somebody has to carry your luggages. So you have to be the brain. So that is the whole leadership system. You can't be the one doing everything. And that is why no one person can be born a leader. It's something that you have to learn. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach G. Thank you for that answer.
Well, your hand is up. Let's just let's make it as brief as we can. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, TJ. The question I have is about emotions. How can you share tips on how to handle your emotions as a leader?
Yeah, there are so many ways you can handle your emotion. And I think it is too much for me to just mention all of them here. There are so many ways. But one of the things that I would always advise is to always stay clear-headed. Emotion is usually it's at its highest when you are stressed. That is the one time that everybody experiences the height of emotion, when you are stressed, when you are not able to think straight. So the only form of thinking that you have is how you feel. That is just one. There are so many other, and I think it's one of the things that we should handle in our Monday Vision topic. But one of the advice that I will always give everybody in terms of handling your emotion is to stay clear-headed. Another thing that you can do to help you manage your emotion properly is to speak with someone. All right. There's something that happens when people people block everything they are feeling. Like, for example, something can be happening to you now. You keep it within yourself. You don't want to share it. And then you're just murmuring to yourself every day. You are angry. One day, you are either going to be in a situation where you are supposed to make a decision that is going to impact your life and your future for a long time when that is happening, or you are going to give somebody an information that can mislead them because you are not thinking straight. So it is important to speak up, to speak to somebody. You don't necessarily, because for the most part, maybe it is triggered by somebody around you. Somebody around you is triggering you to be angry, to feel sad, to feel worried. You don't necessarily need to approach that person and harass the person or tell the person how you feel. Like what most people will tell you, that you should go to the person and tell. You can also speak to somebody, speak to a neutral person, right? Speak to a neutral person. The idea is to speak out. Sometimes I remember some time ago, I was talking to a friend, and he was listening to me, and then he wanted to start giving me advice. And I told him, no, what I'm trying to tell you is not so that you talk to me back. I am just telling you what is happening. So listening to it is all the advice that I need, right? So because I know I'm not supposed to act on that thing, but it made me feel bad, and I just want to talk about it. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So that is one of the ways to handle your emotion. So those are two. Another thing that you can do to handle your emotion properly is have a social life, build a social life. There are people that don't know the importance of building a social life, right? Especially if you are a leader. It is, yes, by all means, work will always be there. You have to always be hardworking. You have to always do the things that is going to put food on the table of the people that you are in charge of, right? But it is also important to have a social life, to have time for yourself, time for your family. So those are very important. So have a social life, speak to someone, and then also don't make decisions when you are angry. Thank you very much.